Okay, so I'm going to try to not be subjective about this, even though I do think that it is a problem. And I just want to hear your guys' opinions on what I have to say in the comments, so just stick around. If you ever disagree with something that I say, don't leave, just tell me your thoughts and continue listening, because I do go over a pretty wide variety of things here, and a lot of cards that I would like to see changed. So basically, I'm just going to start off by saying I think Demon Hunter needs to be nerfed. Hotfix nerfed, maybe? But at least nerfed in the next couple of weeks. Maybe not hotfix nerfs, that might be a bit extreme. But let me just, for stats reasons, currently, me playing as Demon Hunter, I am personally, oh cool, they actually have it in here. I am 2-0 as Demon Hunter, and I've lost against Demon Hunter several times. I think 2-7 into Demon Hunter right now, playing against it. That being said, the only decks that I've played other than Demon Hunter itself is a Hunter deck that I literally named Demon Killer because I wanted it to be super good removal early game and then getting to the late game package where I should win. And then a Control Warlock deck where I have Sacrificial Pact, which is a great demon removal, and it heals me, and it's free. Nether Breath, good dragon package with the Netherwing being able to kill all of his demons basically on curve with Dark Skies. Like, these two decks should theoretically be able to beat aggro decks. Like, that's what they're designed to do, and despite that, I'm 2-7 into Demon Hunter. And then on top of that, we also have this guy saying that he got from rank 4 to Legend on 11-0 with Control Demon Hunter. This guy went 14-0 and got to Legend with mid-range Highlander Demon Hunter, and I went 3-0 pretty handily with Aggro Demon Hunter. Like, regardless of how you play the Demon Hunter, it is winning in all regards, and there are several reasons why this is happening, and I'm just going to go into all the things that I would like to see changed about Demon Hunter. But before I go into that, I would just like to say I understand why this is happening. It's the same thing that happens in League of Legends when basically they release a champion for the first time, or they rework a champion and it's too strong, and they do this for a couple of reasons. One, they want more people to play it and have it be really strong so they can get more data on the champion. They want the champion to be more powerful up here so they can tone it down and balance it rather than making it really bad so people don't play it and they don't get the statistics they need, so they don't know how to adjust it in the future and pump it up, because then what they could do is pump it too strong and then they have the same problem, except they had him at a low play rate at the beginning. So essentially, I understand they put it up here so they could bring it down and get a lot of data. I understand that. And if this is what they plan to do, more power to you, Blizzard. Good job. I understand. But if they weren't planning on doing this, these are just some ideas that I've come up with my limited number of plays against it, I will admit, but also just things that I've seen from videos, because I've watched some other people play the decks as well, and things that I assume are very, very powerful. So, we have the Battle Fiend. The Battle Fiend is a 2-2 for 1, which is already really good. Blazing Battle Mage is a 1-mana 2-2 neutral that is used in pretty much every single aggro deck because a 2-2 for 1 is extremely mana efficient. But this guy has an ability, and since your hero power is only 1 mana and you get to attack using it, like, this is just too efficient, honestly. It needs to have 1 less attack, so it takes a little while to ramp up, or it needs to have 1 less health, so classes like Rogue and Druid and Mage can ping it off and kill it before it snowballs out of control. Because in a deck, like if I'm playing Mage and I see this, I'm not going to have a way of dealing with that until like turn 3 by pinging it twice. Unless I have Arcane Breath, which, I mean, I guess I might have, but if I'm playing Highlander Mage, because that's the free deck that I got because I'm a returning player, or a new player, returning player, which a lot of you are, like, I'm not going to be able to deal with this, and that's going to be a lot of damage going to my face, especially considering turn 2 is quite oftentimes hero power followed by another 1-drop, whether it be this guy, or this guy. I took him out of my deck personally and replaced it with Fairy Dragon because I really like Fairy Dragon, but a lot of people have this extra 1-drop in here, which makes it super efficient. Nothing really problematic here. This card's kind of wild, but like it does take a lot of setup to do at the beginning. Next card I think needs a nerf is the Naga. I think it needs to do 2 damage, because if you think about it, the 6-mana combo with this card, the Coordinated Strike, is 12 damage, and the 8-mana combo with the Command of Illidari is 24 mana, and that doesn't even include other minions you potentially had on the board before. And the fact that it can go face. So even once you like start killing minions, it can go face and be an aggressive tool. Or it can hit minions behind taunt, minions that initially you thought would have been protected, which means that high value targets are able to be sniped. Excuse me, I'm sorry, that was unprofessional and kind of gross. But value targets are being able to just get sniped even though you protected them. And another thing is they can get around taunts easier with the Kayn Sunfury, and I think he's an issue because on interactivity, he basically just says, okay, everything on the board that you like had to protect yourself and were kind of interactive just at all, we're getting rid of it, right? We're saying that taunts no longer exist, which is, in my opinion, really dumb because Mage has no healing. Their only real defense is Freeze, which Charge gets around, and Taunt, which this card makes all of the minions get around. So essentially, this card is just destroying Mage, and Mage already had a hard matchup into aggro decks. It's just going to have a harder time into aggro Demon Hunter and even mid-range Demon Hunter. The Adept is a problem, but it's not actually that strong, relatively speaking, to some of the other cards that I'm going to be bringing up, because the big three are on the next page. So I'm going to move past this one. It's a strong, very valuable card. And there are no ifs, ands, or buts about that, but I don't think that it's too strong. Holy moly, we're getting into the big three. So I'm going to start with the Priestess of Fury, because I think that it is technically the least issue of the three. But, okay, let's do math here, right? 6/7 is a generally 6 mana value card, right? That's 6 mana. That is an optimal 6 mana stat line. Cinderstorm does 5 damage randomly split among all enemies, and it's 3 mana. So let's just round down to also saying the ability is 3 mana. A 9 mana value for 7. With Demon Synergy that can also be like cheesed out with things like the Pit Commander, and the Fell Screamer to make it cheaper. Also, it's not a battle cry, so its ability will go off multiple times after it already used its ability the previous turn to wipe your board so you can no longer deal with it. So it very oftentimes will get maybe even 12 mana value for 7, and it's just a big body that you have to deal with that a lot of decks can't really deal with. That wasn't grammatically correct, but you get my point, right? From a pure efficiency standpoint, this card is absolutely absurd. But it's not as absurd as these two. So this card, strong, hate it, but if you don't want to nerf it, or if you just want to like nerf it slightly somehow, maybe make it do 5 damage randomly split, so that way it's not even more powerful than a Cinderstorm or something, fine. Just like something, tone it down just a tad. Skull of Gul'dan, however, it's a card that really needs to be nerfed. If you give an aggro deck, a hard aggro deck, or even a mid-range deck, the ability to draw 3 cards for 5 mana, that is very efficient card draw. You only need to put in 2 slots, and you can thin out your deck a ridiculous amount. And, since it's an aggro deck, or mid-range, and you're going to be playing on curve, it's very likely that this becomes your leftmost card when you need to play it, and you get a ridiculous amount of mana value out of it after that. Like, not only that, but this deck has other ways of drawing cards. It already has Feast of Souls, it already has the Spectral Sight, Chaos Strike, and the Sigil Runner. Like, when I was playing my Control Warlock and life tapping every turn, in multiple games, the Demon Hunter was literally outdrawing me. He was outdrawing me as a Warlock, which was just absurd. Maybe it was just like an unlucky game, but still, crazy. Mana value you get out of this is super high. I think that it needs to be 6 mana, so that way you actually get punished for not playing it as an outcast, or it's slightly less efficient. And even then, Nourish is a 6 mana draw 3 cards. This could be a 6 mana draw 3 cards, and it also has an added effect as well, which would balance it just like Nourish was made to be 6 mana as well. Last one is the Imprison and Tan. Holy crap, this card is too strong. This card cannot have 10 attack. I'm sorry. It cannot be that strong. It just can't. It's very hard to deal with. When it comes out, it does damage. It wipes the board. You play it on turn 5. Generally speaking, it's either a turn where you lost some board pressure, so you're fine playing that to regain it in a turn or two, or you already have a ton, and it's just a tempo play that your opponent's going to have a hard time playing around in a turn or two. And then you wipe the board, so he's hard to deal with. And then you have a 10-6 on the board. Like, he's so strong. And if you coin him out, God, you play him for 4 mana, he activates on turn 6. It's so strong. I don't know. I feel like these cards specifically, along with just the fact that it has so many aggressive cards and like a 3/5 taunt lifesteal for 4, very strong. A 4 mana 5/3 rush, gain immune this turn, is extremely strong. The Adept is very strong, and I don't think any of these cards are inherently broken, but considering the rest of the class is as powerful as it is, it has some insane removal as well. It has great card draw combos. It has different like token based combos where you can get a lot of extra damage that way. And like 3 mana 4/2s that are just a ton of damage and very efficient, and 2 mana 3/2 but potentially 2 mana 4/2s, extra card generation, cycling, card draw. This class just has everything. It needs to be toned down a little bit. The cards that are the most powerful I have showcased a little bit. If I missed any, please tell me. If you guys think I'm wrong about anything, please tell me. I'm more than happy to start a conversation about this stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.